Discard Not Silent. This is Rodney G. We're here together. This is the late edition. Some places you guys might already be like, he didn't hold up to his part of the deal, but I got it. I'm getting it in. That's what I do. So we're gonna have it a little bit later. Had computer issues. Had to restart the computer. And that's about it. Everything in between seemed to happen once that computer went down and tried to get it rebooted back up, cleaned it. We'll see how it works out. But I'm here. And before we get into the next episode, I wanted to talk to you about my new book that just came out. This When Tales Become Stars. And it's for children who experience pet loss. More specifically, in this one, the character is a little girl named Zuri, and she has a dog named Brownie. And everything is going well until it's not, and Brownie's not feeling too well. We'll put it that way. Brownie is not feeling good. When I did an internship at a pet hospital, it was just kind of heartbreaking to see the kids trying to process the information, and then parents are trying to hold it together and explain what's going on. And, sometimes they say, oh, they're going to sleep, which we don't use sleep, because if their animal doesn't wake up, then the kid may be scared to go to sleep or for the parents to go to sleep. So in the book, I say die or died, and they're just to keep it what it is. Brownie died. I feel like I was trying to keep it all together, and all of a sudden I just gave you, when you want to watch a movie and somebody goes, hey, did you see this? Oh, such and such dies. Although I think you could put together Brownie dies because it's a pet loss book. When I said that, I felt, oh my gosh, I just gave it away. So Brownie dies, and that's what we say. We say die. So check it out. It's more of an activity book. It's not like you do activities in the book. The character does activities, memorials, and different rituals, if you will. Just honor your pet. They're so important to us. And I'm sure I mentioned Buddy and Madison, and if I haven't, they'll definitely come up because they played a part in my recovery as well. When Tales Become Stars, and you can get that on Amazon.com right now, and there's also a Kindle book that you can order as well on there too. Look out for that. It's already out. Order it. Enjoy it. If you're at that stage where your dog's a little older, you may just want to get it and keep it, just in case, if you have little ones around. And even grandchildren, if you have grandchildren around too. So thank you for listening to me for that. And let's move on now. Let's move on. So we know I lost weight. I gave that up, how much weight I lost. That was, all of the weight loss was intended to get on the transplant list. I still wasn't on transplant list at this point. I still didn't even meet with the transplant people yet, but it was just the process of getting on there. Had a bigger issue at the time. We did. My wife and I had to decide what we was going to do with the house. We had that house still in Tucson with the adult kids living there. They were, I wouldn't say taking care of it, but they was managing with it, and they had the food. They had their jobs. We already had food in the freezer, so I'm sure it was at some point getting low, but they worked and provided their meals. We had decided that it was probably time to get rid of the house, mainly because we was already paying for the apartment in San Diego, but more importantly, with everything going on regarding my medical, something always seemed to come up. At that point, I was on my wife's insurance, and I think by now, if not by now, it was getting pretty close to Medicare kicking in. And then Medicare would eventually cover whatever your primary insurance didn't take care of. So we run my primary insurance, and whatever was left over, then they would run the Medicare insurance, and then that would take care of the whatever additional amounts and help pay for the co-payments and such. But the house wasn't getting paid on, basically. We were too far. We couldn't keep it up. we decided we had a friend who was a real estate agent who connected us to another lady, and she specialized in doing short sales. And that's what we did. We did a short sale on the home. Uh, our children decided what they wanted to do, if they wanted to come to San Diego, if they wanted to go wherever, stay in Tucson. That was an option as well. So the youngest came to San Diego with us, and the oldest decided he wanted to go to Florida. He had family in Florida, so that's where he went. And we had an apartment. I think it was little. It was like not quite 600 square feet. I don't believe. We had one bedroom, one bath. So what my wife did was she went to IKEA and got. I think they still sell it, or it looks like a lounger, but then you could take the cushions off and then turn it into a bed. So that's what he used most of the time, was the lounger. But we also had a pretty awesome futon. And it wasn't like a normal futon. It was, I guess, a wall hugger futon. So you could have it against the wall, change it out to the bed without moving the frame, if that makes sense. So everything just stayed there. It's just like the sitting bed portion just swiveled out. Eventually, he just started using that as his bed once we got it. We didn't have it always. We got it a little bit later. One thing about San Diego is people are always moving and getting rid of like good quality furniture. So we got this downtown. It was like a high riser, and this person was selling this wall hugger for, I think, like $200 or so, and it retailed for like $1,000. It was brand new. They wasn't there long, so they was moving out of town, and everything is always out of town for work. So he's moving out of town for work and had to get rid of his stuff. So we got that really cheap. And another thing is, which we didn't do it a whole lot, but if there was a piece or item that we saw in the alleys, people was always putting like quality stuff in alleys. Got an acrylic chair in the alley. I was just walking through the alley to go wherever I was headed to, and I saw this chair, and I was like, that's what I always wanted, because I always wanted an acrylic chair. I thought they looked good. So I got the acrylic chair. It didn't make it to Arizona. So we made it work. Everything always seems to work out. The next couple of episodes would probably highlight just when you kind of given up, something always seems to work out. And it doesn't mean that you're out of a situation, but you might be out of something that's happening at that time where you're just like, I don't know what we're going to do. And something happens. I feel like I said this before. Marie took the bedroom and made it into like this awesome living space. Instead of looking like a medical center, she got IKEA cabinets and put all the equipment, the bags and the cycler tubes, all of that inside the closet. So anytime I was ready to go hook up, I would go open that closet, and I had everything right there. And then there was a couple of other cabinetries and stuff like that she bought to help store more equipment in that, as well as clothes. When you walked in, you just saw cabinets. You thought you had like wardrobe cabinets. Really looked good. She did a great job with that. Now, there was adjustment with having another person in the small space. It wasn't too bad, but, adjusting to that, we get out, he's still sleeping, we creep around, and then eventually we're like, okay, we can't creep around too much more because he's still sleeping. So that, that went on for a little bit. But overall, it was just we was in it. We was in our regular day. It was normal now. It was starting to become more normal to deal with the dialysis process, the move, realizing that we're going to have to short sell the house. It took several months to get that taken care of with the paperwork. Everything was done. Our neighbor and my mother-in-law went over there and cleaned out the house to get everything that they wanted out, to take it out or hold on to us when we came back. Our oldest took the cat with them to Florida, and then I believe the dog stayed with my friend. And then for the meantime, I believe the cat was actually staying with some other friends too. And then we picked the cat up and then the cat was headed to to Florida. So that was pretty much it for this one. It was just to continue the go. For Monday, we'll talk about starting that process of finally working on getting to the transplant. All right, late edition, a little tired. I know I'm not the most energetic person in the world speaking. I was probably a little more drab on this one. That's because at 10 o'clock, I guess now I'm at that stage where my old body's starting to get tired and there's no more club in my future. So my club is looking at Friends and then going to bed. I never used to watch Friends, but could be another episode on its own. All right, y'all take care. If you wake up, you have a purpose. Bye.